Here of the Intel Extreme Masters World Championships from the Spodek Arena in Katowice. There is a little bit of a crowd left here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm hoping you're as excited as I am to maybe finally come to a conclusion here, but G2 have still got that fighting prowess left. Stop laughing at me, analysts. It's been a long day.
I hope you're excited
guy.
to maybe, probably.
Thank you, crowd. You have been fantastic. Anyone you're here post 12 o'clock, so you have really put in a massive shift along with everybody involved here too. But the main storyline, G2 fighting to win this final and Flash was looking to close it out. And you know, we have to look to that draft phase for those adjustments.
G2 just are really putting themselves in a position where not all their players are capable of making plays, particularly Mithy on the Tam Kench. Why is he not playing the Malzahar? It's desired. Malzahar is so easy. Key was feeding his ass off so many times. Just pick Malzahar. So easy. Press R, the entire team collapses.
You are savage on the desk today.
It's truth.
But I do agree with you. Like, again, the high point of Mithy was, you know, when he pulled out the Leona pick, when he decided to go toe-to-toe. And I just wish that G2 would, you know, give more initiation tools to the members. Look towards the Ashe. Look towards, not necessarily Leona, but maybe a Zyra is a good start.
So, draft phase has begun here in Flash Wars, looking to close this tournament out. Shen banned, Camille banned, I believe, and Malzahar and LeBlanc off the table for G2 right now.
3 picks that are in contest right now are Varus, Jace, and the Rengar. Rengar is such a powerful pick, and Jhin being banned out by the Flash Wolves, saying, G2, do you dare ban Varus or leave it up?
And the Rengar are even more powerful right now because the Malzahar is banned, so not having that, I'm going to call it a soft counter option available.
Well,
That's a Jhin.
Karthus did have a pretty okay Rengar game, and it does suit the theme of just survive the early game, hit that mid game, and it looks like Betty might be getting his hands on his very famous Ashe, although the arrows, nothing to really brag about today.
Did they ban Jhin and expect the Varus ban, knowing that if you forced G2 off these 2 AD carries, they feel like they've got the advantage in that bot lane?
Absolutely.
Yep.
I've just done the analysis for you. I'm sorry.
There you go.
So Sivir might be the response for G2.
Yeah, but then it's the question, you know, like, what do you pick? Do you go for the Sivir? Do you go for the Caitlyn? Do you maybe reach other options? Sivir makes sense. She lanes decently well into the Ashe. She also does the Warlord, so she can match her on sustain. If you play your spell shield correctly, you can play around the arrow. That said, Ashe is still such a massive bully, and I feel like this might be a mistake.
Well, I don't know, because we saw Trick pick it up and actually perform well with it, right?
But Karma is up right now, and Karma is awesome with this composition, but it's also really good against it. And Karma Ashe, a lane that the Flash Wolves absolutely love. Just such a tremendous amount of pushing power, which would most likely prompt G2 to have to take a Zyra to try to answer in response. And if they go with Tam Kench, that bot lane is going to be a disaster.
So, Flash Wolves now on this next rotation. You said the Karma is available for them. What are you expecting, Froscurian? What would? Yeah, well, there you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay, 100% Flash Wolves will always play Ashe Karma. It is like the definitive pushing bottom lane.
Let me have this.
Well done, Crumbs. I'll give you a good pat on the back. It's been a long day, and you've made a good prediction. Karma locked in.
Good job, Crumbs. Oh no, and Maple gets Syndra. The Rengar better be worth it. I mean, that said, it does synergize really well with the Sivir, the on the thrill of the hunt, but it does mean that you're very telegraphed in what you want to do. And now there's pushing priority for bottom side at least, possible pushing priority or at least a lot of kill potential mid. So Karsa could look to get into this jungle, whereas Trick just wants to farm to level 6. Karsa now has 2 waves that he can look to, or excuse me, 2 lanes he can look to interrupt that.
And that's going to be worrisome because the Flash Wolves have won 2 games today already with those exact 3 picks so far. The Ashe, Karma, Syndra, victorious against H2K. Why would you let them have what they're comfortable on? I don't know. Maybe they have something up their sleeve. It's a sleeveless team, so I'm not entirely sure.
Looks like Nautilus has been locked in. You would imagine Maokai comes through in as a ban here for G2 then, given that. And we are into the next ban phase. Kled, a ban that we haven't seen for a while in the IEM tournament. That was coming out earlier in the group stages.
It's a much more popular pick in these Asian circuits like the LMS, particularly the LPL as well. And I know the LMS share a lot of scrim partners over there. It would fit with the composition in terms of its hardcore engage.
Maokai, however, is still left up. You got the Poppy for MD. He could go with the Rengar and Zyra being taken away. Poor Mithy being put on the Tam Kench once again. I mean, You could go with that Leona, however, right? The last time we saw them pick, it was exactly against the Karma lane and Syndra, so it wouldn't be such a bad pick here. Maybe something he has practiced a little bit more.
And Ashe is also low mobility, just like the Varus.
Now, the one thing that G2 has been preaching and Weldon has been really trying to get these guys to feel is no regrets. You don't want to have a regret when you come out of a game, and that's why Mithy said he locked in the Leona on that really big deciding game. He said, if I pick Leona, I'm going to have no regrets here.
And talking to Mithy about the pick, he had played it 4 times in tests before he got to debut it on that stage. So,
wow.
You know, high pressure situation, have the confidence on it.
I mean, we could even potentially see a Nautilus support maybe for Mithy. I mean, it's not too far out of the question. We've seen it before. The
problem is you don't have the Jhin, and one of the big things about the Leona pick is how well it worked with the Jhin.
Okay, yeah.
How her Deathfire touch would proc the passive for Leona, the lockdown there, the chain CC. Sivir, you're not going to get that.
Yeah, although if you were to pick Leona here, you're basically just saying, please let us survive until level 6 and have Rengar gank. But Jace for perks is very deadly here. He is playing quite well, and having that pick and that self-sustaining carry makes for a lot of pressure in mid.
Made it very far through the draft phase, actually, Jace. I mean, we aren't so used to seeing that. Flashwolves are considering their top lane pick as it stands, and they are thinking about that Poppy or MD.
Going for the Jace this late, while it might have seemed weird in the beginning of the day, the Flashwolves are just playing what they're comfortable with. They have been doing really well with these 3 picks so far. Why stray away from it? You've played it a bunch of times on stage. You got a feel for the matchup, and the Kazakhs will be that final lock-in. So this is a really deadly composition in terms of picks. And the CC that they bring between Syndra, Poppy, and Ashe is really dangerous, considering that there's 3 pretty squishy champs on G2 already.
And again, it's just really well-rounded. The fact that you have the disengage from Poppy, you have the speed up from Karma, the hard engage from Ashe, as well as Syndra.
G2 take the
It is
rumble
the
here.
Nautilus support. Good call there.
Oh, well, I was more going along the lines of maybe they'll pick Maokai and then, you just have the both of them. But it is actually going to be Nautilus support for Mithy. I unintentionally predicted it for the wrong reasons.
But it's the same kind of idea as the Leona, targetable CC.
Absolutely. Now, guys, I need your predictions very, very quickly, Crumbs.
Flashwolves, man, they got this comp so many times before. They look better tonight.
I have to 100% agree.
Well, double Flashwolves here on the decks. Now, before we go into this game, I'm going to give a shout out to our partner here at Intel Extreme Masters, The Score Esports. If you want news, updates, live scores, and everything that you could need for your esports needs, go and check out their app on iOS, Android, their website, thescoreesports.com, and their YouTube. Go and check them out. I'm going to hand it over now to 2 wonderful casters who potentially take us through maybe the last game of the tournament, Papa Smithy and Pyrotechnics. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Scoundrel. We're here, we're ready. This could be the final game of the entire tournament. Flashwolves on the precipice of victory, looking for some redemption. Remember, they faltered at IEM Oakland, but they have come out swinging here in Katowice. And they're getting ready to rock and roll against this G2 esports squad. We're just trying to fire back and find one more game.
And both teams have got comfort, but you look at the Flashwolves' comfort, and especially as an LCK caster, I'm like, Ashe Karma, that's the gold standard. European teams definitely don't agree. They're not big fans of that particular duo. They have Syndra for Maple, 3-0 already this season. So much comfort, 1 game up, getting into the twilight hours of IEM Katowice. Have to like Flashwolves.
Well, definitely the hour is getting dark. But we are on to the Rift one more time. Katowice, everyone around the world, let's make some noise for the Flashwolves and G2 Esports!
So much credit to the fans here, stuck around. Just about 12:30, we will be kicking off this final game. We'll see if it is the final game. Of course, there is still that potential.
Let's not write in the history books just yet.
But it's getting into those intangibles, Pyrotechnics. It's very, very late. G2 looked a bit defeated after a nice early game. It'd be so big for them if they could really tap into some of the tools that Weldon has given them and really level up and take this to a 3rd game. Then anything's possible. But right now, at the start of game 2, with specifically comfort on the side of Flashwolves, you have to like Flashwolves' chances to close it here.
Yeah, a lot of power picks in every role. Maple got his hands on that Syndra, Karza on the Kazakhs, and then Yeah, Betty and Sword Art, Ash Karma, this is something we heard from Frostgren on the desk. They love this every time, and European teams just don't seem to prioritize. We haven't seen too much Ash of the European region, really since 7.2 hit.
I mean, Varus comes in, Jin come in. A lot of teams, with one of those banned, especially default to Ash in Korea, has the ranged interrupt on the ultimate. In general is very, very strong. With both picks banned away is the first pick here. The utility, compared to someone like Caitlyn, 2 items, very, very strong for Ash. The Sivir has its risks. Laning phase will straight up lose to Ash Karma. And the other thing is, you push the lane, your jungler roams to Karma, and guess what? Jungler's fast, jungler has a bit of extra burst coming from the Karma. The upside of Karma is so big, and there's a reason that Crumbs and I on the analyst desk get frustrated when this champion falls through picks and bans. To me, with Malzahar and Zyra banned on 7.3, Karma is the gold standard, even if, well, that's a nice little start for G2.
Yep, they managed to get themselves a good combo. Dredge line from Mithy. Managed to knock him in, get a little bit of damage out. Betty's still pushing them back. Sven's gonna have some work to do. He has had some trouble throughout this tournament. Losing 2v2 is not something we expected to see from this European duo lane, but let's shift up focus a little bit, switch some gears, and go over to mid lane, because Perkz, he did get his hands on that Jace. It did fall through quite heavily through the picks and bans and allowed him to get it back up. And he had a monster performance against Kongdu Monster on this champion as well. He's been definitely looking a lot better as this tournament's gone on. See if he can do this again.
And we gave him the MVP, so clearly we rated a lot Perkz' performance in this tournament. Jace has been one of the picks that, whether it's in the LCS or here, he's really shown great performances specifically on the Jace. Mid lane Jace has become the automatic thing. We don't see top lane Jace almost at all, especially with tanks so prized for him to put down wave clear and also put down wards in the late game, being able to face check rushes. Right. But mid lane, you can throw it down from downtown, going to side lanes, even without Ghost as a summoner spell. So a lot of power there. And this is very much a swinging skill matchup in the mid lane. It can snowball both ways, but if Syndra gets the first blood, even with that range, if Jace is farming with EQ every 16 seconds, not doing a lot of pressuring in the mid.
Yeah, and you can see Perkz is maybe worrying that Karza might be paying him an early visit, throws down the ward on the top side. Karza's a little bit preoccupied with bottom, obviously still level 3, level 4 for Trick. It's early game for these junglers.
I mean, to be fair, I don't know if there's ever been more than 3 words between the words Maple and Karza in an English LMS cast or an English cast of the Flash Wolves, just because they are such a famed duo. So you can understand the pause whenever the Kha'Zix is missing.
Yep, gotta be careful. Karza's definitely shown that he's definitely got claws in this series so far. Last time around, a little bit of critique could have been sent his way. Against H2K, it was a long, drawn-out series, but they still managed to pick it up. And honestly, Maple's a guy you definitely can't discredit in any situation. And give him a powerful choice like this Syndra, he's going to definitely make some waves. Trek throwing a ward down, looking for a gank of his own.
He's on this Rengar, who showed good performance on. That was a level 2 gank that really threw the Rock series in a way we didn't expect in Game 2 of that series. But this time, just doing the standard Trick thing of showing up in mid and helping wave clear.
Yeah, Maple is a different kind of mid laner than Mickey. They both will go in for big plays, but Mickey doesn't have that voice in his head that says, okay, maybe I shouldn't do this, it seems. And Maple, he backs out. He plays at a much safer
You say
pace.
Different kind, I'll just go out there. He's a better laner than Mickey. Mickey has his times, but Maple's a classy mid laner in a way that not many other mid laners in the world can really compare themselves to.
Yep.
Trading in bot lane, still going pretty one-sidedly, although...
They turn target attention. Oh, Sven is going in really low. He's waiting on that.
2 more autos.
Oh boy, that was a close call right there. And he doesn't use either of his summoner spells. Mithy gets the exhaust on. That was a close trade.
But the fact that G2 stood up for that trade is already, to me, a pretty worrying trend. Why are they standing up 2v2 to Ashe Zyra, of Shield, have Poke, have Karma? They're so oppressive in these trades. They're always going to lose with that particular duo. They lose pressure in the mid lane. The trades continue. They're love taps for now, but a couple more items, level 6s, and things get pretty fierce.
Yeah, they're going to start packing some punch. Maple's forced Perkz out of lane for now, and he has a big farm advantage already built up, so the Syndra looking pretty at the moment. Trick in the bottom side jungle. There's a Mountain Drake on the map, but G2 are in no position to try and move in for it. Only 5 minutes in at any rate, and Trick is going to get spotted on his way in. They ping it out. Betty and Sword Art immediately back up. This is going to free up some time on bottom for Sven and Mithy to be able to push the wave out.
And this sort of pathing is what happens when you're against Ashe Karma, because guess what? You're getting pushed in. Karma leaves lane to either go for a mantra Q from the brush or put down aggressive wards around Grom, or in this case, Shallow Vision. And predictably, they know exactly where the Rengar is. So it's a very low percentage chance of getting a successful gank in bot. And given that we see this River Vision as well, Costa can keep power farming and no worries for the Flash Wolves.
Yeah, they're definitely having no troubles as this game gets underway. No first blood, 6 minutes in. Two very explosive junglers. Trick is going to be trying to find a way to get involved in these lanes, and mid has been the place that he's preferred throughout this tournament here in Katowice. Maple playing it out a lot safer, though. Meanwhile, Karza down bot on the Krugs. They're really the gift that keeps on giving.
And we were skeptical when G2 locked in the Rengar as a takeaway pick in Game 2 against the Rocks Tigers, but Trick showed us those sort of adaptations that really cement his status as this top-tier jungle, both in Europe and also worldwide. Going for a level 2 gank, because Rengar, you miss out on it, you lose some camps on the other side, you can surrender the level 6 rush and surrender the pressure in the early game, but pulling it off in a snowball matchup really helped G2 get going. This game has been more about the farm. It's a different side from Trick, but looks like it's going to be pretty low pressure from Trick, although level 6 just now observed.
Yeah, we'll see if he's able to catch Maple out. It's always a tense matchup in the mid, especially when you have somebody like Maple. He gets the speed boost from the Scuttle Crab.
This is where I'd love to just jump in, talk to Maple, and be like, okay, serrated Dirk on the Jace. It's not any sort of magic resist. Sure, Edge of the Night can come through it, but it's not in any way the more Mortius. Looks like offensive play around mid was a possibility. Now we're watching bot, and there's Rengar ultimate.
Yeah, Betty and Sword Art were way pushed up right now, immediately flashing an AD carry. Double TP's coming in, Trick is locked up, but now Mithy has come to bear.
Equalizer.
Down the Equalizer, Sword Art is going to be the first blood, and Betty now getting charbroiled. Down to 0, Sven picks up a kill, and with 4 members bot, they can look to push tower.
A nice teleport play coming there from G2. First exciting time for them all game. All Karsa can hope to do is steal away a red buff, but G2, they got their eyes trained on their first turret blood. The first brick, as we like to call it, should be pretty academic for G2.
Yeah, this is the comfort zone they want to find themselves in. Able to take down not 1, but 2 kills and grab themselves a turret to boot.
And it's actually a bigger advantage than that. They're ending this tough laning phase against specifically the Ashe Karma that were just wailing away. They were overextended. This is how this lane plays out, and they've got control wards, they've got everything. But from every side do the G2 members come, and second to the teleport, crucially, is MMD, and he cancels it because he sees the red carpet roll out and knows there's no chance to turn it around.
Yeah, and now playing with some more confidence. G2 are looking to make a play on mid. Mithy sends the anchor flying, but Maple is the one who flashes away from it. He's got all the mana in the world, and Perkz doesn't have too much more, so Mithy's actually going to get stunned up, but it's all a bait. In goes the Rengar leaping. The bullet strike is there. Another auto. Perkz looking to fire a few more down. Flashing forward, finishing the job, unleash the power. Perkz gets it and tanks a tower shot on the way out.
And there we get some questions answered for G2. We wondered, where are they at mentally? Are they prepared for a second game so late in the night? The answer is clearly yes. Really nice early snowball from them, tracking with the vision there. That sure, Mithy is walking up, but Trick is there too. And this is one of the scariest things in League of Legends. We all remember the Nautilus jungle days where the guy walks in, he's got CC for days. He's not even level 6 yet. But when he rolls into lane, because remember, he can leave lane more. They can push in the bottom lane with the Sivir and roam with the Nautilus. The CC package alongside the Rengar is instant death to most laners. And Syndra, sure, got 1 flash, got 1 ghost, but those are down, you're dead.
Yeah, it's definitely giving Flash Wolves some cause for pause right about now. Sven firing away at the top side of the turret. MMD is going to bat him back for the time being, but you know, at 10 minutes into this game, G2 to have the big tempo advantage, a gold lead, 2,000 in their favor. They've swapped around as they already took down the first tower, and expect he can honestly just keep firing away on these minions, and there's not a whole lot Betty and Sword Art can do about it.
And expect to see Trick and Mithy do their best Mata and Dandy impression and light up the map. Already the red side jungle for Flash Wolves is a precarious place for Kha'Zix to be entering. For now, safe, but in the future, that could definitely change very fast. The ganks are certainly going to be there now that Mithy has hit 6 as well, and suddenly we have a situation where even though Flash Wolves have got ultimate comfort, the safe places for them to enter the map are minimal.
Yeah, sometimes you play with the comfort and you realize there might be a hole that the other team can slip through, and that's what we saw down in the bottom lane. Trick came all the way around the side to find the gank, even though that river was pretty much lit up for the Flash Wolf side. So they find themselves towerless, killless in this game. Karza hovering around the mid lane right now. Sven and Mithy are back in the bottom, just trying to keep Flash Wolves guessing as they push the wave out again. They have the tempo. Let's see what they do with it.
And they can rotate first, and specifically the Nautilus being unaccounted for is massive. With some mobility, predictably, pick up for the Nautilus with the lowest base movement speed in the game. And they got so many options. They could roll through with the ultimate and also the boots of mobility and make it through to mid. The contest, the big story for Syndra is, can I keep this control ward on my right side up as long as possible? Because that goes down, and Rengar, Nautilus, Sivir, all missing. And suddenly, you're under turret, and that's where Jace shines, poking you down.
Karza places a ward there, nearly gets himself caught. He's found out once again by the control ward in this brush. It has been a vision war in the river for most of the game. Mountain Drake, impressive objective to try and contest for. Nobody's gone for the big play just yet because all members of both teams are sitting up.
There's the arrow.
Okay, Trick. Oh, it nails him, but he's able to get his roar on and get himself out of a bad situation. Trying to scout out if there's any more members to bear. Betty sends the hawk shot flying. Flash Wolf stacking everybody in this bottom side of the map. And G2, they still got 2 on mid. Let's see if they can make a push happen before they have to contest. And it looks like they're going to be collapsing.
Yeah, Poppy already teleported, so group with the team, not going to be a flank of any sort. Rengar going for the front door play.
He finds MMD, but he's able to back out easily. Let's see if G2, once again, look to rotate towards the mid side. A few pings flying for Flash Wolves. See both Sven and Mythy hanging out towards the bottom side. They are the ones who are spotted. G2 are just poking and prodding, looking for a way in.
Flash Wolves playing with fire. Remember, they are always overextended in bot, given this the nature of Ashe and Karma as a duo, and also their turret being down. Poppy there to relieve some pressure. Big thing for Syndra is that so far the lane phase has gone well. Specifically, does have full turret HP, so isn't having to worry about that going down, because suddenly then Syndra will also be dictated to. Speaking of dictated, we're seeing a teleport. Actually, might see a Dragon Force here from both teams.
Yeah, Dragon started, but now they look for MMD. Mythy and Trick are on top of him. He's pretty tanky, but they send the depth charge flying. Perks is waiting in the brush for Maple, sends the shock blast, goes to the skies, exhaust is on, but Maple unleashes the power. It doesn't do too much to Perks. Meanwhile, back on the Dragon, Karza looking for a steal. He goes to this, he nails it, and he makes it out with his life, but the red carpet is out here, and MMD is looking to push, expect back. He manages it. Flash Wolves come up with the objective after a tussle.
And a turn there from MMD, maybe not necessary, really nice ejection with the keeper's verdict. Able to back away, nice steal away, Mountain Drake. Will it be consequential right now? Not so much later on, specifically when the Baron plays start, might be massive. They also get the pressure around bot lane. It's gonna be a 3v2, 3v3 even. You get a bit of turret damage, but don't know if they'll be able to secure it.
Not just yet, but Flash Wolves have to be happy with the way things have just gone out. So they not only got themselves the Dragon after what looked like a surely losing contest, but they get pressure on the bottom side, and after they had been forced to dance to G2's tune, they have to be enjoying the change of pace.
It's a containment job at this point for Flash Wolves, I guess pretty honestly reminiscent of Game 1, although in a slightly different scenario. G2, they have some front line, but the front line's going to be pretty situational. Rengar will get tanky on a budget, but specifically gets the AD early, so he'll be pseudo frontliner. Nautilus, the same story, could be very tanky, but is coming on a budget from the bot lane. It's a Rumble comp. The moment you have Rumble on the top, you know what to expect, but Flash Wolves have more of a traditional team comp on their side, so the late game, to some degree, not massively, favors them. We're going to see a replay, and G2 could have done more to try to goal keep or keep Karsa away from the Drake. They trust in the smite, and that trust, in the end, was fruitless.
Yeah, no need to take the 50-50, and we know what happens next. Everyone gets ejected, and Expect realizes maybe that's not where he wants to be. Meanwhile,
MMD got a bit excited and flashed for the wall stun, but we'll forgive him that one.
Hey man, sometimes you just want to play the carry. MMD doesn't get much of a chance to do it.
Nope.
So Flash Wolves.
He got to play Echo.
He did.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a nice changeup. I mean, we're not just seeing G2 adapting in the comps on the fly. Flash Wolves, they're experimenting a little bit too, and that's what's awesome to see about these international tournaments, especially in the middle of a season. These micro metas start to develop. Let's see what Flash Wolves are going to be getting done on the top side, looking to try and finish off this turret as Betty is hurting some minions in. Mythy, yeah, he knows something's up.
You always take a big pause when you see two.
Hold your breath for a second.
Especially when you see two bodies when you're going for the sweep.
All right, well, Flash Wolves, they're definitely playing with the tempo right about now. They can't finish off the top turret, but they have closed most of the gold gap, or a lot of the gold gap, as we get closer and closer to that 15-minute mark on the map. Attention is shifted up towards top side. This Flash Wolves dictating where G2 are going to be heading for the time being. Still a lot of damage, and the mid-game power spike for G2 is not something to take lightly if you're Flash Wolves. You talked about the Rumble. There's also that Jace coming to bear. Once he finishes himself, Ioma's Ghostblade is going to start hurting.
But isn't it fascinating how the games, Game 1 and now to some degree Game 2 seem to change on an instant? Like G2, very nice move, nice teleport play, take the bot lane turret, what's the next objective? They're on top of this game, and then suddenly we're talking about Flash Wolves dictating, and it's funny how that changes. To me, that's not necessarily playing around power. We noticed them leave lane, get a lot of wards around bottom red side. Why was the mid lane turret at full HP? Why could there be no rotations against a Syndra that has decent wave clear, but eats a shock blast? Nautilus walks up with ultimate and has to evacuate quickly. But now it feels like G2 won the minimum from their very nice map play, and Flash Wolves just seem to be running them around the map at will.
Yeah, and that's honestly a result of small decisions that kind of rotate or turn into big things. I wanted to say rotate, but that's a whole different story. It's that time of the night, and this is really the same thing for these teams. Like, you can make these little mistakes because you have been playing not only for so long, but you might get inside your own head a little bit. Flash Wolves and G2 have had a long journey to get to this point, and both have, kind of had several different demons to face along the way. And there just isn't that perfect game. Even on a big stage like that, you will make little mistakes, and a team of each of these teams are very capable of punishing those.
Seems like Flash Wolves got their mistakes out with their first series, where H2K looked like much the better team. I think we were all inking in 2-0 victory for H2K.
It's always nice to get it out of the way.
On Skype with the Fisher, but, tell me about this matchup. What's going on here? Didn't prepare for G2 H2K. There's Korean teams here. What's happening? But things went very differently. It was a nice turnaround from the Flash Wolves, got back into the series. And now, we're seeing the Flash Wolves that we saw on their first day. The reason that we saw them come through the winner's side of the bracket, gotten the jitters out of the way, and sure, still a long way to go in this game. It's been a much more strong performance from G2, but it's kind of that sinking feeling. I wonder, if only you could see if that sinking feeling is starting to come, because comfort is getting back for Flash Wolves.
Yeah, despite the fact that they don't have any kills on the board, they're still close within the gold game right now, and they are the ones who are forcing G2 around the map. A lot of G2 wards, though, are spotting out the movements of Sword Art and Betty right now. G2 are looking for picks, but honestly, they're stuck on wave control duty, not making the plays, trying to stop the plays from happening, stalling out the game a little bit. You have a mid-game power spike, but it's not quite there.
The moment that Jace is kind of cooped up in mid lane, only wave clearing against the Syndra, I think that perhaps the rotation needs to be cleaner with that specific pick. Jace can make so much happen, whether it's in a side lane or aiding in a siege. And just trading minions with a Syndra doesn't seem to be getting the maximum value out of a pick that even Perkz himself has shown to be super, super potent. But across the map, we see waves trading, and this is when the Reddit kind of thought process of, well, they got no tank, what are they going to do, starts to become a reality. Is if you can keep the pace up, you don't need a tank. All the structures are down. You've got a gold lead on everyone, items on everyone, and you can close out the game. And sure, they've got Rengar, they've got Nautilus, but Rumble comps need to be played at a pretty specific speed. G2 started that off, but now we're kind of waiting for them to make the next big move. And if they win a team fight, maybe things can be brought back to parity.
For the time being, though, they've sat themselves in a bit of a holding pattern. A lot of vision coding this entire river up on the Baron side because Flash Wolves don't want this kind of thing to happen. G2, they moved their way in. Trick was looking for a play onto Maple, but he scouted the weak and pushed him back for now. Perkz punishes a little bit on a Shock Blast, but MMD, he seesawed the wave all the way back up top, or back on bottom, I should say. Expect was there a moment ago, but then he moved back.
Not in vision, though. It's actually pretty risky from MMD. Team hasn't prepped for vision, so the moment you go past the river,
they're paying back.
Can be punished any moment. Still, I think that was one wave too far. He gets away with it, but hindsight can be 20/20 on that regard.
Sometimes you can lose track of where you are on the map if you're not paying attention to the rest of the team. Karza hops and skips and jumps his way into the G2 jungle looking for a red buff. He's not going to get contested, but they see it coming. Meanwhile, after all the backs, Betty's going to be able to finish off this outer turret. That's the second of the game for Flash Wolves.
That's why you wonder. They go for a leisurely walk in the bot blue side jungle. They try to counter the wave just in case Poppy goes for, I guess, double wave push, the most greedy thing you can do. Flash Wolves go up the top, steal away red, take a turret. They're a three-man group, and sure, you see Jace popping the Yomus, but they've got Karma move speed. They can evacuate pretty safely, and Flash Wolves get free objectives.
Yep, just a step too late, and all that vision coming to bear for Flash Wolves means that every time G2 are trying to make a play, that it's pretty much stopped dead. The reaction for Flash Wolves is fast enough because they have the foreknowledge. So many wards on this top side of the map, and honestly, you can see where G2 have lost a lot of this map control. We're getting closer and closer to that Baron spawning on the Rift. There has been a Cloud Drake already there for a while. Hasn't been a huge objective for both teams.
I love the fact that the vision's been toggled here, because you see cool control wards, but they're largely very defensive for a team comp that can push, rotate, and also siege under turrets, throw down the equalizer, zone with the Rengar ultimate, and Jason Sivir will do the rest. But we certainly haven't seen that for the last few minutes. And Flash Wolves, remember, this was where G2 set up as Flash Wolves took objectives in top. They're going to take down the Drake, but there might be a turn.
Here's the reaction right now. Teleport's going to complete, but immediately expect it's being right to the wall. Trick is isolated. In goes Mithy with a depth charge onto Betty, but they're split focus right now. G2 are looking for something, anything. Can they find a kill? It doesn't look to be the case, and Perkz is taken down to 0 by Maple, and now Flash Wolves are collapsing on the rest of the G2 squad. The red carpet gets thrown down, but Karza hops, skips, jumps onto Trick, who's burning, finally going down.
So
MFC leading the the charge, and Sven, spell shield is not enough. Down you go. It's 4 kills to 0.
The target selection was so important for Flash. Was multiple members on a sliver of health. MMD can teleport back. When Betty started to walk up, I thought maybe it's Baron time, and yep, Betty's going there. They're going for the Baron.
Oh, baby, he's going to heal up just in time, and Betty's going to hang on the backside and fire away, hopefully not taking any damage from this Baron. Nothing G2 Esports can do. The pressure is just mounting at the moment. 21 minutes, and they have got damage to spare. Betty might be taken a little bit low, but without any response, there's no way that G2 can stop this from happening. Flash Wolves turn a fight into something beautiful.
And it starts slow. Remember, they set up here, they had wards for it, but the Drake's already dead, and they're like, okay, we have to go for a fight now. Expect is slowed down, Trick is alone, and with Maple out of position, you think maybe G2 can make something of this, but suddenly they're caught in the middle of a lot of things. Maple just turns on perks, he's dead, no way to get out. And Betty flashes in, that's a little bit too aggressive from Betty. Nice equalizer, but there's just the right target selection from Flash. Was MMD on a sliver of health, picks up the buckler to live. 4 falls, the Baron falls, and perhaps the fall of G2 is not far behind it.
Well, they've gotten Flash Wolves a pretty solid gold lead. G2 looking to try and find anything on the map. They mount 4 members up to the top side and grab themselves an outer turret. They're second of the game. It has been matched by Flash Wolves. They're just going to turn on the mid right now.
Syndra's casually in a side lane, not something you see very often, usually isolated in the mid lane. No teleport, but no need for it. No summon is up, but no need for them. Outer mid lane turret goes down. Inner mid lane turret is just Jace once again pruning a wave, and guess what? Let's just keep pushing in mid lane.
Yeah, just like in life, in League of Legends, sometimes you just got to go out, take what you want. Flash Wolves, this game, they've done exactly that. They grabbed that fight, they baited G2 right into it, and the split focus from G2 just meant that they could not do enough. And Maple, he's got some backup in the form of Betty and Sword Art now. G2 just hoping to stop this bleeding, and it's not gonna be enough. Maple with a massive pickoff. 2, in fact. 1 on Mythy, 1 on Perks. They grab the tower, and the train just keeps on rolling.
That comfort on the side of Flash Wolves is coming up so big. Maple will soon be, it looks like, 4-0 on the Syndra. Happy to blind pick it, happy to take whatever matchup it gets. Does great things on it. Base broken so early. 23 minutes in. That's going to be an inhibitor. Hey, what about 2 inhibitors?
Why not?
Sadly for G2 and Europe, they can only watch.
Trick is just throwing the bull out onto the minions just to try and scare MMD away. It's not nearly enough. Flash Wolves, they're making it look like they were playing H2K at speed 3. This is a 10 team right now. They're marching for victory.
This is really nice stuff from them. Super clean, super ordered in game 1, understanding when they're behind, and then turning it on when they got an opportunity in game 2. Falling behind, but again, where was the acceleration from G2? Where were the setups for the Jace Siege? We didn't see them, and now it feels like it's just the killing fields for Flash Wolves.
I don't think Trick saw that one coming either, and even Sword Art gets the kill. Perks going in, finally gets the shutdown onto Maple, but Karza turns right back on top of him. Expect is trying to boil down the bug. It's just not going to be enough. MMD finding Sven, knocks him into the wall, the hammer goes flying, and Betty cleans it up with a cool volley. 24 minutes in, once again, Flash Wolves turn to fight.
That time is probably not long enough for an end. There'll have to be a back also. Betty was very low, almost taken down, assassinated by Sven in the backline of all things. We see the back away though. We have to remember that, sure, there is Sivir and the Jace on the side of G2, but 22, 24 minutes to deal against Baron buff minions pushing into the base. It's a team effort.
Yeah, you could see the desperation moves from G2, but they are getting sloppy. They're getting tired. The fatigue is setting in. It looks like 25 minutes is not even where we're at on the clock yet. And, you know, Flash Wolves, they are seeing the end of the line here. They are seeing the victory in their eyes, looking for that 2-0 to close this series out, get themselves, their names etched into this trophy. This is a team that has not claimed a title in really anything. Honestly, you have to go back to IEM Taipei, Season 9.
I mean, the 2 of us had to sit there and kind of go through our minds because they're always relevant. They were always making quarters, semis, being relevant factors, but the big one has never really been there. It feels like it's close. Maybe not on that engage, although...
Maybe Karza, he just
Sivir.
completely eliminates Sivir off the map right now, and even with 4 members, they're able to push in here. G2, they're gonna have to find a miracle hold, but they are losing their last inhibitor. It's 25 minutes. Flash Wolves, they wanna go for the end right now. They have pressed the gas pedal to the metal the entire game, the entire series, and there is nothing G2 can do to stop them.
Rengar's just in base, he's finally gonna come out. Super Minion's gonna crash. Waiting for Flashwolves to do it, although G2 might look for that fight.
That's the last equalizer, and G2 were hoping it was going to equalize somebody, but MMD, he tanked the majority. Everyone else had already backed off, and now with a couple of balls flying, scattering the weak, it's towers being fired down by these super minions. G2 are putting up a front of resistance, but it's just not coordinated. It's just not enough. Trick is going to have to flash back, and he's taken down by Maple. Everyone's retreating to the fountain. Expect's going to go golden, but there is no chance of redemption. There is no chance of victory, and the Flash Wolves have taken it all, 2-0, to become the IEM Katowice World Champion.
This tournament was supposed to be the coronation of Europe. 3 big players, one of them surely to take home the trophy, but it's the coronation of the Flash Wolves, finally winning the big one, finally winning an international tournament with all the other major regions involved. Not everyone, but a sampling. The Flash Wolves, the first place team from the LMS, were too strong. They took down Europe's hopefuls, and they deserve to be IEM Katowice 2017 champions.
100% as they shake the hands of their fallen foes. Flash Wolves, from minute 1 of this tournament, had looked like a dominant force, and when it counted, they turned that dial up to 11 and never let go. Congratulations, your IEM Katowice World Champions, Flash Wolves!
Congratulations, Flash Wolves. You are our Intel Extreme Masters World Champions here at Katowice, and you are deserved winners. All of the analysts had you pegged to be the #1 coming in, especially from those early performances. And guys, what a road it has been for them.
I mean, 2-time finalists, IEM Oakland. Of course, they went down to UOL, now taking the championship this time around after a disappointing performance in Worlds. This looks like a revolutionized Flash Wolves.
In convincing fashion, quick 2-0, really seemed to not struggle at all against G2, and so they very much so should be hoisting this cup, and it is all over now.
And you have to really go back and highlight their bottom lane and the changes that they've made. You know, the performance from Double Red into Betty. Same guy, but kind of new life.
Flash Wolves barely looked like they were going to drop a game this entire tournament. They absolutely blitzed the opposition almost every single time, and you know, they are deservedly standing there with that trophy because they have looked fantastic every time we've seen them play. What a game from them, what a series from them, what a tournament from these guys. The LMS #1 finally proving themselves on a world stage. Now they can go back to the LMS with this trophy, with this accolade. They've got that international win behind them now. It really solidifies them as the best team in the world.
And ultimately, it gave them a peek into kind of what's happening into the global meta. We saw 2 very different metas collide early in this tournament, and it was kind of the Asian meta that came out on top, and not just in the Flash Wolves victories, but also in the Korean dominance that we saw at this tournament. So, you know, as we look towards more international tournaments in the future, how will this set up the Flash Wolves for success? Because if history repeats itself, it's undoubtedly going to be them.
And this should also set up all the teams that came here to improve, getting a taste of what it's like going around the world to play against opposition that you usually wouldn't face, to be challenged in ways that G2 does not get challenged in the European LCS, should overall increase the level of play for that entire region.
Well, you can see on screen, we are ready for our winners interview on stage with OJ. He's got his translator there, he's got his team there. OJ, how are the winners feeling?
Well, I would guess they're feeling pretty great right now. They are, of course, the world champions here at the Intel Extreme Masters on this first weekend of 2. It was a great dominating performance in that matchup. Were you surprised how cynically you clinched it?
只有你们刚才那个比赛赢的实在是太漂亮了，所以能不能说一下你对你们自己的表现是不是有点惊讶？
我一直都相信我的队友们都是世界上最优秀，像是 Kasa 或 Maple。我这个比赛我是想要证明自己一下，就是我也不是大家说的那么差，我也可以慢慢接近我的队友，对，然后我们一起赢下比赛很开心。
So he said that he's always had a lot of faith and confidence in his teammates. He says that his teammates, in particular Karsa and Maple, are players who are very good worldwide. Just internationally, they're on that same level that they can compete. So he's very glad that they won today because he thinks that personally he's getting closer and closer to the level of his teammates. And I think some people might have thought that he wasn't as good as a player, but he's really happy that he's just able to be deserving of his teammates.
That is so magnificently humble. I think the question is, the region you come from, people have never looked at it as a region of strength. Do you think that's changed now?
只有你们这个 LMS 的赛区嘛，然后就其他人可能会觉得你们 LMS 赛区没那么强，那你觉得就这次你们赢了 IEM 之后，那些其他人会不会改变主意呢？
我不知道其他人会怎么看到我们 LMS 赛区，但是我们会一步一步的证明给大家看，我们 LMS 赛区是很强的。
He said that he's not so sure, like maybe what other people's perception of the LMS as a whole is, but he does know that they're just going to get step by step, just keep on getting better.
They certainly are. And the final question, in a single word, how does it feel to have won this trophy, to be the IEM World Champions?
只有最后一个问题，只是可以用一个字，就单独一个字而已，就说一下你们今天现在赢得了比赛，得了冠军是什么感受？一个字。
赞。
How'd you translate? Zan?
Yeah. He said "zan" in Chinese, which is kind of like thumbs up.
San! Congratulations to your 2017 League of Legends Intel Extreme Masters World Champions. They have been amazing over the course this week. Fabulous here in the Spodek. Please go wild for the Flash Wolves! And with that, we shall hand it back to our experts. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here.
They have been tenacious. They have been long-standing. They have been managed to endure this massive final day. And honestly, they are the deserved winners. They will etch their name into history. They will join the likes of KT Rolster, the likes of CJ Entus, the likes of SKT. And finally, Flash Wolves have their chance for their place in history.
And frankly, it's kind of about time. The Flash Wolves have been sitting on top of the LMS for so long, have come so close to glory and can't quite get there. And it's not like they had easy competition. Yes, it's not the top Korean teams. Yes, they didn't get the top Chinese team, but they did get to face the top of Europe, and they took it down.
Lukewarm competition.
What a way to end the note there.
No, they're killing it, right? They played really well. Like, they stopped them. So that means that they're significantly above, which is what we want to see, because when you're playing against a weaker opposition, it's not a matter of just winning, it's a matter of winning convincingly, and they did so very well.
I mean, the LMS is becoming more and more mature as a region, and this is now the Flash Wolves solidifying the LMS as a region that can compete on the world stage, because you mentioned Frostyr, you know, they had their Worlds performance. It was disappointing by their standards. They went to IEM Oakland, they got second place to the Unicorns of Love, and now they've come here, they've beaten the first place team in Europe, and they have solidified it. It wasn't even close. They absolutely rinsed that final in a complete 2-0 sweep.
There's always been conversation about kind of the gap disparity between the top of the LMS and the bottom of the LMS. We see that in teams like AHQ and Flash Wolves versus the rest of their region. But if you look at their partners in crime in this tournament, Hong Kong Esports, they even started to trip up a couple of teams. So it could say something that holistically the region is taking a lot from AHQ and Flash Wolves, multiple international performances and successes, and building on it for a better future.
And perhaps it's just a region that will always go unnoticed in the radar of the West, simply the location, the accessibility of watching them, and overall, I'm sure they're pretty happy. If they keep winning, but nobody even gives them any respect, that makes them even stronger for upcoming tournaments.
Flash Wolves, when we talk about them in the future, no longer will it be the top of the LMS. It will be the team that won the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice World Championship. They have etched their name into history. They have become part of the legacy of this tournament. The legacy that so many great teams hold, and Flash Wolves will now join them at that tier.
And they've created a new ceiling for themselves. Again, you look back to Flash Wolves, everyone said that their bottom lane was where you exploit them. Moving away from NL, building on top of that legacy into something bigger and something better. This is a roster to be feared.
Exactly. Coming into future international competition, you're going to expect this team to be in the top placements. This means that already their standard has been increased for them, and anything less than a victory over Europe and North America coming into any other tournament will be a disappointment for them.
Flash Wolves started their 217 with a bright, bright day here at the Intel Extreme Masters World Championships. They have been dominant. They have surprised us, but at the end, they have ended up #1. Congratulations to you guys on that stage. You absolutely deserve it. And thank you for providing us with some high-quality League of Legends. This is it from us at the Intel Extreme Masters World Championships here at the Spodek Arena in Katowice. From everybody behind the team, the broadcast crew, and all of the teams here, it has been our pleasure to bring you this tournament. And congratulations to Flash Wolves again. What an excellent win. See you next time.
It's my final fantasy. Every single time I hear you say, if I rise, I will not crash. I will not fall from first to last. Till nothing's left inside, I will not lead you down a broken path. With every breath and every stride, I still need you here by my side to take me by the hand once again. I'm blinded by the light. We won't back down from a fight. No, we won't back down from a fight. There's nothing that I wouldn't do after everything that we've been through. We won't back down from a fight. And we'll stay alive. We will stay alive. I'm ready now to make a stand. I'll take the shot, I know that I can. I'm tapping into all of me with every ounce of energy. The voices seem to come alive. I hear only what I need to survive. Is this my final
Mike's
fantasy?
Sanyu. He's going to be engaged on fights. Double taunt on both of the carries, but no follow-up. They go on to Key instead. Redemption, but Sven gets consumed by Minty. Can they keep the AD carry alive? He's going to be able to spit him out, but he has gone down in the end. Sangwon gets another one. It's Yoon with the triple kill, and Yoon wants yet more kills. 15, 2, and 10 as Rocks Tigers win game 1 against G2.
A
lot with the poke as we see. Oh, Trick in there. He's been caught out in the mid lane. He's going to be exhausted. Flashes coming out left, right, and centre. And Charmlands, it's going to be first blood. Trick is on the board. Rocks in control of the area, and Minty just gets deleted. repel has to be used by Sun Juan, but there's going to be a follow from Expect. They get the kill. Now they've got to find more. Sang-Yoon will get rooted off. There's the charm, and it's a kill for Per. G2 are going to a third map in this series. Tower might go down here. Daisy pops. Stranglethorn will shove everyone away, but Mickey's going deep. Gets 2 knockbacks, and it might just be 2 kills. This Trick tries to escape, but the curtain call goes through. Linderang goes in, but he's not that tanky just yet. This 4 members hitting him. He's not there, the Baron! Someone takes it out, flashes out of the pit. Only 3,000, does he get another steal? It goes the way of G2, but do they win the fight? Look at the Emperor's Divide, the damage coming on through. But it's Mickey flashing to the back of the pit. He's going to go down. And now G2, they've got to finish this fight off. Sang-Yoon flashes out of the pit. G2, 10,000 goal deficit, but they don't care. Europe are in the finals.
Shay does have ultimate. He can't stop Carson from getting anything done. It's getting lower and lower, but they kill it so quick. Baron dropping for H2K. Maple comes in on the backside. Odoamne goes forward. Shockwave goes wide, though. Massive for H2K. Collateral damage doesn't mean a thing. This is exposed. Yeah, goes in. Batty. Not going to drop in the end, but MMD goes down. That's going to do it. H2K take game 1. Oh, Maple using the brush against him. Nice movement from Yanko. Scuttle Crab. MVP for H2K. What perfect positioning. Call going in. GA coming up. Bevin flashes forward onto Maple. That's disastrous for H2K, but they're peeling back. They're pulling back. Nuclear still alive. He's flashing, but MMD, he isn't going to be able to get it. No. GA pop. Betty flashes forward. 1 shot, 1 kill. Wants to make it a triple. Will he get the quadra as well? He's popping off. Flash Wolves gaining control. Inhibitor's getting lower. This is bad. Flash Wolves are going to take game 2. What a beautiful play. Bevin, there's a lot of balls in the push. Bevin, he's getting popped. Karsa goes in, he grabs that one.
Double penetration build, but Karsa.
Oh, that's a combo. Oh no, H2K have fallen at the hands of the Flash Wolves, and they move into the finals to face G2. Perks is going to be putting on his dancing shoes. Silence, stopped up. He goes in for Sword Art, but Betty blows him away. Chains land on him. This is the chance, but Mythic gets popped down to 0 without even using the Grey Out. Karsa comes in, nearly takes down Sven. Maple finishes the job. It's a double kill. Close that window right on G2's face in 32.5. Flash Wolves take game 1 of our grand finals.
It's my final fantasy. Every single time I hear you say,
Meanwhile, back on the Dragon, Karsa looking for a steal. He goes for it, he nails it, and he makes it out with his life. Two just hoping to stop this bleeding, and it's not gonna be enough. Maple with the massive pickoff. 2, in fact. G2 are putting up a front of resistance, but it's just not coordinated. It's just not enough. Trick is gonna have to flash back, and he's taken down by Maple. Everyone's retreating to the fountain.